Now we see the coming end of Judas and what they do. We saw that in the previous reading. And in today's reading, we see what the chief priests and the elders do with the money. And what we'll see is that it's a fulfillment of prophecy, actually a squashed prophecy, a smashed prophecy, if you will, both from Zechariah and Jeremiah. The quotation is actually from Zechariah 11:13, even though it's kind of arranged differently in Matthew's reading that we'll see here at the end. But there's definitely this whole idea from Jeremiah chapter 19 with this idea of the potter's field. So let's see what happens with the money. The chief priests, taking the pieces of silver, said it is not lawful to put them into the treasury. It's okay to falsely have somebody killed. It's okay to have the Messiah of the world killed, but it's not lawful for us to take the money that we use to uh, pay the person that handed Jesus over. We can't take that and put it back in the treasury because it's blood money. Very odd. It is when you get tied up in sin, your reasoning goes out the door, goes out the window. You start thinking weird in weird, odd ways. And that's what's happening to these chief priests and these elders. And again, in this twisted logic, they take counsel together. We've got to obey the Lord. We've got to obey the Bible. We got to do this God's way. So they bought with them the potter's field as a burial place for strangers. So that's the sin. The whole thing is the sin that they are taking this blood money and they are using it to buy this field. They're just so twisted in their knowledge and in their thinking. This potter's field is made reference to by Jeremiah. He takes a pot and throws it on the ground, it busts, and he says, just like we busted this, God's going to bust the people of Jerusalem. He's going to shatter them. And this field is then called the field of blood to this day as a recognition that this was the money used to betray Jesus. Then was fulfilled what has been spoken of by the prophet Jeremiah. Now it's interesting here. This is not actually this what we're getting ready to read. This verse is Zechariah 12 or 11:13. Zechariah 11:13. It's not in Jeremiah, but the way it is the way that this verse has been rearranged, you can look it up yourself. Read Zechariah 11:13 and compare it to this quotation. You'll see the same phrases, but they're in a different way. They're arranged differently. And so the thought is that Matthew is understanding both Jeremiah 19 and Zechariah and kind of squishing them together as of talking about this potter's field and the money being used to buy this potter's field. So here's what the verse says, or what I should say is Matthew's rearrangement of it to explain how this fulfills prophecy. And they took the 30 pieces of silver, the price of him on whom a price had been set by some of the sons of Israel, and they gave them for the potter's field as the Lord directed me. In fact, Zechariah says that he throws the coins back into the treasury. And so there's even discussions about the connection between the translations, but not to get all tied up in that. But what you basically need to hear is that Matthew is taking Jeremiah, he's taking Zechariah, and he's squashing them together to show us how Judas's actions were prophesied ahead of time. And not only was Judas's betrayal of Jesus prophesied ahead of time, it was also prophesied ahead of time what would be done with the money. And it was paid, and it bought this potter's field, this field of blood to this day. I pray that's been a blessing to you, and I'll see you in the next video.